There's an old story from the Buddhist tradition. It's called the Buddha in Rags. And the old story, I don't remember all of it actually, but I love the symbol, the allegory of it, which is that there's a child and he's been looking, he's a avid seeker of the Buddha nature. And he's been practicing his young life. He's a teenager now. And he's clambering around on the dump and the trash dump, and because he's picking his living from the trash dump. And there's all these rags and things on top of the trash dump, and he's picking them up and pulling them away and stuff. And then underneath, he reveals like this pristine, shiny diamond, and he starts to pull more rags off. And the more rags he pulls off, this head emerges, and the more rags he pulls off until he's like pulled off all the rubbish from the dump, and there's this beautiful Buddha figure, resplendent, sitting there under the rags. And I love that image. That's that little myth there. And it reminds me a lot of when you start working with your Gene Keys profile for the first time, and because that's the essence of what these teachings are all about. But that underneath the shadows, the difficulties, the challenges in our life is something beautiful hidden. And so when you come and you look at your profile for the first time, you see there's this line, there's these pathways that connect these four spheres. This is in your first sequence, your activation sequence, which is about unlocking your genius or your purpose in life. And the first pathway is called the pathway of challenge. So like our whole nature at the beginning, as Buddha said, is challenge, is one of challenge. Life is suffering. So the very beginning of your journey into your profile is challenge, the first thing. And so it's like, what is my challenge? What am I here to meet? But the next line is called breakthrough. And then the final line is called core stability, these pathways that connect these four spheres in your profile. And so when you look at that's the script of your journey, your beginning of your journey into your profile. Most people begin here. And it's so interesting that it begins with that challenge, but it shows you immediately, hidden in the challenge is a breakthrough. Hidden under the rags is a Buddha. And that breakthrough, when you have that breakthrough, when that breakthrough emerges for you, through working with your own keys, through seeing and contemplating them in the light of your everyday life up until this moment and in this moment, you begin to realize, wow, this is just reflecting my story. And underneath it is this core stability, this pathway of core stability. And they're all one thing: challenge, breakthrough, core stability. When you have the breakthrough because you are courageous enough to look at the true depth of your challenge in life, of your core challenges, these shadows, then you have the breakthrough that comes from that. And the moment that breakthrough happens, you attain or you sink into core stability, like the Buddha. The Buddha has this deep core stability. It's our Buddha nature. It's a part of us that knows itself as eternal. Right. So the prize under the dump, under the rags, is vast. The prize is higher purpose. The prize is this core stability, this sense that I can no longer be shaken by the things of the world. I am absolutely stable in my deep core being, in the core purpose of my being, because I realized that the core purpose of who I am is to meet the challenges of life and transform them into breakthroughs, and then become even more grounded, anchored, embodied in my love and my freedom. So that's the story that you're going to begin to unpick as you work with your Gene Keys profile and you look through the lens of your activation sequence. These 4 Gene Keys that are threaded together in this narrative called your activation sequence, which unlocks these beautiful revelations that are waiting for you. So come and take a look at it. I think it's going to lead you on a merry dance right into the core of who you are.